I don't know who needs to hear this, but please, please, please do not go back to living paycheck to paycheck. And no, I'm not saying don't go and have some fun, splash some cash when the world opens up again, because we all deserve it, we all need it, and me and the intern will be out there busting some moves, and doing the hoedown, throwdown on the dance floor. So I get that, and it needs to be done. But please, let's not go back to living paycheck to paycheck. I know that it is out of necessity sometimes, and we just have to do it because circumstances mean that we have to do it, and that is fair enough, and good luck to the people that are in that situation. I really hope that you can change your situation and you can earn more money and you can cut back if possible. And there are obviously bigger things than just talking about personal finance and money in people's lives, so obviously that's fair enough. And there is definitely a lot of people that have been badly affected by the pandemic, so that is understandable that you may be in a situation with your money that you cannot get out of. But there has been a lot of people that have actually benefited from not going out, not spending money, so they've been able to save a bit more money and invest a bit more money into their future. But what we don't want is people to go back to their old ways and revert back to what happened maybe a year ago, February 2020. How much did you spend that month? Who knows? Maybe it's worth having a look. And I know that people during this time have actually seen the other side. So they've seen what it's like to not live paycheck to paycheck and want that to continue. And here's how to do it. So the first step is to admit you have a problem. So this is obviously the first step of the 12 steps as well. So if you're familiar with that, then you'll be familiar with this. So at the moment you may be fine and you may be living perfectly fine, not paycheck to paycheck at the moment, saving a bit, investing a bit, and living your best life. But when we go back to normal life and you're buying a bag of the flour at the weekend and 17 pints, do you think that is good for your financial goals? Not really. So identifying this and thinking about what you're going to do when you do return back to the pubs, the clubs, and going on holidays, etc., etc. How are we going to budget for this? How are we going to plan for the expenditure that we may see when it comes to June the 21st, which might be a bit of a lit party. But who knows, Boris may not let the dogs out. The reason I wanted to talk about this is because I saw a study by the RSA, which is the Royal Society for Arts, Manufacturers and Commerce. Easy for me to say. And this study said that around 25 million people, which is a lot of people, are actually financially vulnerable. So if there was something wrong with a boiler and it blew up, or your car broke down, you'd be in a bit of a sticky situation. And on top of this, another survey by a housing charity called Shelter and YouGov said that 40% of people in the UK are just one paycheck away from financial ruin. So that could be bankruptcy, or not being able to pay their rent or mortgage, etc., etc. So this is really not good, and we need to make sure that we do not revert to this, or we can get out of this, or have a game plan to make sure that this doesn't happen. So number 2 is work out your current situation. So how much do you owe in terms of debt? How much are you spending? How much are you saving? How much are you earning? And that is sort of the first tangible point where you can go, yes, this is what I'm spending, this is what I'm earning, and where's it all going? Have an overview of everything in your accounts, in, out, shake it all about, do the okey and turn around. As we are currently in lockdown, you may not be spending as much. You may be doing the odd pizza delivery or the odd Amazon delivery, and that's fine. But this is not normal spending. This won't be what you were spending last February in 2020. So maybe it's good to actually go back to February 2020, have a look how much you're spending, what you're spending it on, and identify what you enjoyed spending your money on and what you didn't really enjoy spending your money on. Because if you've read Ramit Sethi's book, I Will Teach You to Be Rich, then he says that you need to spend more money on the stuff that you enjoy and less money on the stuff that you don't enjoy. So if you enjoy going wakeboarding or surfing, you spend all your money doing that, and then you don't spend your money on going out. You might not like going out, but you might love surfing, etc. You get my point, hopefully. So there are a couple tools that can help with this. The first one is MONEYYY. If you don't have a MONEYYY account, I would recommend opening one, because it is actually a very good tool for budgeting, and it is really easy, and it does, if you keep your notifications on your phone, then it does imprint in your brain how much money you are spending, which is a really good thing, because with the rise of smartphones and tapless contactless cards, you can easily spend 50, 60, 70, even up to £100 now, because they've raised the limit. So this is obviously something that needs to be considered, because mentally it doesn't feel so bad when you give someone your contactless card as opposed to giving them 20 quid. It feels like someone's ripping your heart out when you take a 20 quid and give it to someone. So you need to think of that every time you're smashing that contactless card onto that thing, you know? Yeah. But one thing to make sure is that you use MONEYYY correctly, and you make use of the pots, and you make use of the budgeting feature, because I know a lot of people use MONEYYY, but they may not actually use that feature. They may just use it because it's really easy to get a card, etc., and it tracks the spending, blah, blah, all these perks, but they don't actually use it, and they don't actually look at what they're spending, and they don't identify what's going wrong, what's going right, etc., etc. The second app is Money Dashboard, and it's basically MONEYYY on drugs, on steroids. It's going boom, completely on a different level. So what you can do with Money Dashboard is collect all of your bank accounts, all of your savings accounts, and all of your credit cards. So you can see how much money you have, how much money you owe, all in one place. I really like it because you can see how much money you had last month compared with how much money you have this month. So it's really good to see whether your savings are actually increasing and that you're actually not spending too much money than you should be. So I definitely recommend those two apps, because it's really easy to sign up for both of them and get started and track your budgeting, track your spending, track everything, and it just makes everything a lot easier than writing it down or doing your own Excel spreadsheet, because who really likes spreadsheets that much? Not me. So number 3 is really simple. It's just budget. So people get scared of this word because it sounds scary, and I agree, it is a bit scary. I don't like the word budget, I don't like the word plan, but it is really important to do one, because it just gives you more freedom. As silly as that sounds, it gives you more freedom to do the stuff that you want. So the way I usually start off my budget is by working out how much my fixed costs are. So that will be my rent, my bills, my council tax, all of these things that are necessary to make sure that we survive. And then you want to work out your variable costs. So there'll be some variable costs that may be bills, so they change every single month depending on how much you use, or your phone bill, etc., etc. You need to work out what the variable costs are. Travel may be a variable cost, so it may cost you more to go to work one week because you go at different times. I don't know. You just need to work it out. But hopefully you don't have too many variable costs, because that just confuses everything. And then of course you want to save and invest. So you should look at trying to save and invest around 13%. I know this is difficult, and if you're living paycheck to paycheck, it's not going to be able to do that immediately, but you want to work your savings rate and investing rate up to 13% at minimum if possible. So start off with 1% the first month, 2% the next month, 3%, and so on and so forth. And then in a year's time, you'll be saving the minimum that you should be saving at 13%, which will allow you to live the current lifestyle that you're currently living when you retire. So this is a really good benchmark. Obviously you want to do a bit more when you get more pro at budgeting and you're earning more money, etc., etc. But this is a minimum, and it will allow you to retire nice and easy and carefree down the line. And then of course you have your fun money. So you want to be spending money on the things that you love. So for me, that's coffee and traveling. So we try and put more money into coffee and traveling than other forms of entertainment, like going out drinking or snowboarding, something like that, you know what I mean? Because this essentially just gives you the life that you want. You can mold your life by spending more money on the things that you love and withdrawing or withholding on the stuff that you don't. So it's just a really good way to think about life, and a good way to build your life into the thing that you want it to be. And the final point on the budgeting bit is to make sure that you try and automate everything. So try and automate all of your bills getting paid out every single month, so you don't have to worry about it. And maybe set up a different account for your bills and your rent, etc., that comes out of this account, or your mortgage comes out of this specific account. So you don't have to worry about it, it just comes out automatically, and you are set for that month, and all you have to worry about is a little bit after that. So number 4 is to grow and invest your money. So obviously you don't want to be sat around just putting your money under your mattress, because it's not going to grow if it's sat on your mattress. If anything, it's going to decline because it's going to get eaten by bed bugs or whatever. Depends how dirty you are in bed. You know what I mean? And inflation averages 2 to 3%, so you're losing 2 to 3% of that money, or the spending power of that money, every single time you leave it under your mattress. So please do not do that. So how are you going to invest it? Well, there are plenty of ways that you could invest. So you've got real estate, you've got index funds, you've got DIY investing, or you could just invest in startups. And there's a billion other ways that you can invest, but these are the main sort of things. But without a doubt, you need to be investing because it will allow you to have a better life in the future. If you can say that you are truly content right now, then you can skip this step and you can live how you're living with these 3 previous steps. But if you do want to have a better life and potentially retire earlier than 65, then you should be investing, because it's truly the only way to build wealth in this country. And I've got loads of investing videos on this channel, so go check investing content here, down here, wherever. So please do not continue to live paycheck to paycheck. Hopefully these tips have helped and you can actually go and live a good life of not living paycheck to paycheck and building your wealth and building a life that you want to lead. Fingers crossed, hopefully that helped. If it did, please like that smash button. And I'm not a millionaire, but I'm trying to help you become one. So, peace. P.S. This is the last time you will ever see this lovely set. See you in the new